And Janet Jackson has shocked concert-goers at a festival in New Orleans with an X-rated rendition of her song Discipline. She took the title to a Dominic-inspired interpretation, acting out a hypersexualised routine, complete with a bondage swing. Critics are outraged at the performance, which included simulating sex on a man pulled from the crowd.
It was decidedly more S&M than R&B, which was otherwise the genre of the Essence Music Festival, where Mary J. Blige, Alicia Keys and LL Cool J were also headlining. No surprises, plenty of people asking whether this was appropriate or not, or what. We've got a few questions of our own, and here to answer them is psychologist Sally-Anne McCormack, an expert on the sexualisation of teens, who is joining us from Melbourne. Nova FM's Maz Compton here in the studio. Good morning to you both.
Morning.
Sally-Anne, first up, we know sex sells. Is this taking it too far?
Well, certainly the cost is quite high on this occasion. Totally inappropriate. I actually thought it was disgusting, degrading and despicable. I think given the event, there are lots of kids that could have been watching this, and we know that children idolise celebrities. And I think certainly it would be, you know, we've talked before about the sexualisation of children, and given that children copy and imitate things, this could be happening. Children could be doing the Janet Jackson dance in the playground. I think it's disgusting.
OK, Maz, this was a festival billed as celebrating spiritual inspiration. There were lots of guests, religious leaders, gospel singers.
Yes.
Was this the place for a performance like that by Janet?
In the sense that it's the Essence Festival, Alicia Keys, you know, she's quite religious, that there are people on the bill that definitely have those that moral code, I suppose.
Gospel kind of feel.
But this is Janet Jackson's first performance in 2 years. She played for 2 hours and did 30 songs, and I think she's reminded us all why she is potentially the queen of pop. This is what she does. She's an entertainer, and I think as her first performance back, look, we're all talking about it, and I think at the end of the day, that's probably what she wanted. She wanted to make some headlines, and those lines are definitely blurring more and more these days. You've got to be more shocking to get the attention.
Yeah, I was going to say, because we've had this over-sexualisation conversation about Lady Gaga, Miley Cyrus, Britney Spears. Is this what performers have to do now to get people talking about them again?
I don't necessarily agree with it, but it seems that they are doing that. I think this is Janet's way of going, look, I'm 44, but I'm still stamping my mark on the pop world.
Maz, does it cheapen their musical talent, though, the fact they've got to resort to parlour tricks, if you like, rather than just concentrate on the music?
I think in the case of Janet Jackson, no. I mean, if you remember the Janet album about 10 or 15 years ago, she stood there with the human bra. Janet Jackson's always been one of these overly sexualised women, and that's the persona she's portrayed in the public eye her whole career. So I think she's just stepping it up a little bit.
Right. Sally-Anne, do we need to reignite the concert classification debate to make sure kids aren't witnessing these sorts of shows? You were clearly really offended by this.
Oh, absolutely. There were no age limits shown on the website or for the tickets. Given that Gladys Knight was on the program, so was Earth, Wind and Fire, not only would I have taken my children, I'd have taken my parents as well, you know, with Janet Jackson too.
Dad would have got quite the shock, Sally-Anne.
Absolutely. So I think we need to, you know, to have classifications. I think that we need to protect our children and empower the parents to actually know what it is that they're taking their children to.
Yeah, I mean, but not just the concert. I mean, these things make their way onto the web really, really quickly, don't they? How can we make sure that young fans aren't watching that as well?
Well, sadly that becomes more difficult. And I think it goes back to the common rules that we have with internet and computer use, is really monitor what your children are watching and have regulations and watch things with them. Maybe not that, but and it depends on the age groups too, but we need to be in tune with our children and notice what they're doing on the web.
All right, Sally-Anne, thank you very much. And Maz, thank you for coming in with a totally inappropriate outfit.
Thank you.